Going. Hey, everybody, what is up? We are back again. It's Thursday, and we are watching Dot Hack Sign, the Watch Party episodes 4-5. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday, despite everything going on. We hope you're doing good out there, and also, again, um, honor to we bring honor and remembrance. Ah, that's what happened. Oh, yeah. Oh, I agree there. Um, real real quick, we also we sent we were in also, we remember the horrific tragedy of 9/11, and our thoughts and prayers to those who are still affected by it, and we remember the 3,000 souls that we lost that day,
Oh,
a and briefly.
I wasn't even at school at that time. My mom said I was at school. I'm like, no, no, you said I was not going to school. She had to bribe me. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to school. I still remember. That's how I remember it. She's like, no, you went to school. I'm like, no, you made me stay home.
Yeah, I think I was, let's see, if it was around 7. I remember waking up one day on that day, and then went back to sleep. Then my mom woke me and my sister up for school. That's when it was first reported. We were getting ready for school, and then throughout the whole day it was tense. Hey, Callie, hey, Sailor Outlaw George, hope everybody's good. It was really tense that day, and I remember my teacher flipping out on, one of my teachers flipping out on a few, wisecrackers and everything, and he was not having it. Mm, yeah, but anyway, guys, we are gonna go ahead and get started with the watch party. Again, the link is right the not that one, this one. Good grief. The watch link is right there, ladies and gentlemen. I'll go ahead and leave that up for anybody who needs to know where it's at. Uh, we'll be back soon for the discussion. We're only watching episodes 4-5, and we'll be back for our discussion. Anyway, and away we go.
God, I love that intro. It's so good. porn. But black and white, black and white. Oh, okay, that's gonna be porn. Okay, he's reminded me of the other girl from God Hack GU. So to be fair, Phoenix wasn't lying about the animation. No excuse. What do we got here? Someone smoking. Did they even smoke the cigarette? Wait, there's an ambulance. Oh shit. Hey, I know that place. Jeez. Okay, now, but where's Trigun? Oh, speak of the devil.
Oh, oh no. Oh no.
Nuh-uh. What are you? Why do you think I'm a kid? Why would that matter? Well, well, cruel monkey, you blame us? Oh, damn, damn.
All right, there we go.
God, I wish Phoenix was here. Phoenix familiar too.
He's wearing glasses.
I can't, I can't, I can't.
Oh wait, apologies for the buffering. I apologize. Boy. Oh man, crazy 2 episodes. Crazy 2 episodes.
All right. So these two I find to be a little bit more interesting. Even a little, I think even a little bit more than the last three, the original three that we watched, because in four we start to again. Phoenix wasn't lying about those darn animation cuts or what they're holding back because there's very little movement. A lot of this is shot, reverse shot, different close up on their face, different camera angles, them being very much silent or close ups on the face, but it's only the eyes and nose and ears and not the lips. So they can save on budget and animation. But that's just like one thing. But at the same time, they're able to do some really cool stuff going more with the black and white stuff, with the past, because with Tsubaki, you get to see a little bit more of of, of his past of going by the Avatar, with what's going on within the real world in the flashbacks. So it looks like a death of the mom figure, and he's left alone with a father. I'm like, oof. And we know how those can be with the, especially when it affects a young child at a young age. So doesn't look too very good. We have someone in a hospital that Bear mentioned in episode 5. So are the storylines connecting? Probably, because it's like, what's going on here? What's going on? But that's the beauty of show, don't tell. Show me enough, but just barely enough, so it can pique my interest. It can keep me guessing what's going to happen next.
Yeah, they're showing just enough to be a good, solid plot device to keep you wondering what's going on, but at the same time, it's being used as like kind of the trigger in all of this, and it definitely piques your interest because I mean you gotta wonder with this person being plugged up to machines and whatnot. I mean, is that the aspect of him that's basically allowing him to transfer fully into this game-like world, this dream-like sweet sequence that other people can't tap into.
We also got to remember
So
that in the dot hack universe, everyone within this world, at least, the avatars you see are just them. They're just the avatars. Again, these are like the augmented virtual reality stuff that everybody wears to play. So when we're talking about the avatar, they're talking about like the game system. Hence, it's called literally the game is called the world. So when everyone talks about admins, the systems, the administration, princess this or that, Silver Knight, they're referring to their in-game character counterparts. But when you see all the black and white stuff, they're back in reality. We're in reality, so remember that going on. But they also do this very well here because just like within the actual game, the games it's based off, the game series, you can literally do anything in the world and no one would care unless you're player killing, which we'll get into probably more later down the line. But you kind of remember that going through. But it makes it more, strangely enough, haunting yet melancholy at the same time. Because, yeah,
yeah,
everyone's in a fake video game, but they take it so real what affects the actual in game world that it makes it believable. Take a look at what happens in episode 4 near the end.
yeah, and they say that Sukasa has actually been there for like 10 days straight. So I mean, you got to think like that has to have some sort of mental, psychological toll on him, even though he's kind of rationalizing it to himself that this is a good thing, and yeah, he doesn't want to go back to whatever it was that was tormenting him so in the real world, whether it be because he lost his mom or whatever's going on with the girl and being in the hospital and whatnot. But I mean, like I said, there's another side to that where yeah, this was kind of like his escape, but now it's sort of kind of becoming his prison in a ironic sort of a way.
Yeah, exactly. And it's cool that they are sticking with like the game and everything. And it's like we have an anomaly here, and the
Well, like
pieces are.
with me and Anime and I freaked out about. We're like, I know that place. I know where
Yeah,
that place is.
we saw the
52.
place. We saw the place. We're like, yes,
That's
this is the
where
place.
.GU starts off after you do the prologue section, and you go through like the
What the
big cutscene, the whole CGI stuff,
is
especially
what is
one with
like
the
his
in-game cutscene when you're doing the PS2 or or the PC port that we had later with the HD collection. So I was like, "Ooh, I know this place. Cause this is where
the place
Trigun
that's
is."
isolated from the world?
Okay. So what Dot Hack does, you always see these chaos gates, and to get around, you need
Oh
to
yeah.
put input like these like three different words. That's why like delta hidden whatever or I can't remember all the words, but you got to put three things in, and it'll tell you the level that's required. But the thing about that is, the more you put in the words, at least, you kind of get like different enemies. The location might change from morning to night a little bit, or you might be more of in a twilight zone or a golden hour. So that's how they get around a lot, and that's why like in episode 1 through 3, you see all the knights kind of by the chaos gates because that is the only way to travel. See here. So when me and Anime Knight saw the hidden temple and whatnot, or the church, we're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my, that's one of the areas. So we were geeking out. So I'm like, where's Trigun? Because that's the first appearance in GU for Trigun that you see before you kind of get scaled back down to level 1. So Dot Hack is really cool with the world building and the lore. So for us playing the games and watching the anime now, I'm just geeking out. Like, how many more areas I'm gonna see?
So we're talking about like the place that he can only access that's separate from the
Well,
world,
he can
right?
access that, but then there's the one that Sabaski, that the new area that I saw with him with the girl and everything, and who he's talking to a distant voice. That I don't know about because he got there somehow, and that area that
Mm,
he's in is completely brand new to me. So if that one looks more exclusive, getting to the church that you see in episode 4 or even like in episode 5 near this part, that's a world that people can get to, but you can only get to it if you know like certain words. So the better your words are, better like what you're looking for, then you'll get there. So some areas are going to look the same, but the more unique ones have unique words.
I got you. And so Roots comes before this anime, right?
So what the church is called the Hulen Grands Cathedral, or is one of the lost grounds. So it's in Dot Hack Road. It's like a minor location, but this is like really cool to get into. But moving on from like all the world stuff and anything, when you look at these episodes, at least these two, before we get to episode 6, because episode 6 will definitely explain a little bit more, we're really getting this sense of Subaki really is causing, so Subasuka is really getting on the nerves on the knights. The knights are working with the admins, the administration, the system administration, and they really want to figure out, okay, who the hell are you? We'll restrict the access. But then he doesn't really get restricted. Any other player would have been restricted. How is this happening? And like I said, when you get to the end of episode 4, where, oh, just put up a bounty and everything, they'll take care of him. It's like, are you sure you want to fight? Well, his guardian attacks looks cool and awesome, and probably the only time in this anime, I'm gonna see some really nice action. Does the guardian go more berserk? And no wonder why the Knights are like, yeah, we have to stop it now before this gets out of hand. People's lives are being injured, but it's not just the avatars they're talking about. They're also talking about real world situation. You find this a little bit more with GU if you ever played GU. Highly recommend that game as a series as well for the dot hack. Is the Guardian what I think it is? I don't think I want to spoil it right now because that's a big spoiler for GU and even like infection later on the line. So this is pretty much where I'm gonna say my lips are sealed for the moment until Phoenix comes back. So I don't want to spoil it right now because I think I know what it is.
Yeah, supposedly there's another player who actually can access the Guardian as well. So I'm wondering what that means, like for in the long run. I mean, world wise, I mean, if Tsukasa is the one who's stuck in this world because of whatever. It's like he was whisked away, or he's in some kind of psychological, subconscious kind of in between. I wonder if the same applies for that guy. And
Well, actually, I kind of see this a little bit more with the intro, actually. I think it's kind of explained both in the intro and these black and white cutscenes we're getting in the anime. So when I figured out that the intro, that one point where they kind of do the deep dive, like you see the player's avatar, and then they kind of like their clothes kind of traditionally
mhm.
taken apart to reveal their true selves. Almost everybody who's logged in, their clothes comes apart along with the VR, so we can see their face. Subaki, on the other hand, we don't see a dive. So there's the first hint, and the second hint looks like he's being stuck here. So almost being torn apart by some thorns, getting into a black shadow. So I think the intro is hinting at Subaki's body might both be physically and literally dying without him even realizing it. Think about that, anime night in Jasmine. Think about that.
Oh, absolutely. And and also where the pieces are starting to fall into place.
But still very slow. They're building that mystery. I could be wrong completely, but here's the thing though. There's a little thing in writing we call Chekhov's gun. Keep the important stuff important, keep the non important stuff not important. You don't show me something or reveal something without saying, look at that. This is important. Let's go back to our previous watch with Noir. Look at the pocket watch. How very much that was important on the show. It kind of kept coming and going throughout, but they made sure we paid attention to the pocket watch or the name Noir constantly being said by a bunch of different people. When did that happen? We figured out what it actually meant, along with everybody's little past from their childhood. That became important on later on. This one, they really want you to focus on that darn wonderful bop of an intro, but also the player's avatar, all the real world character's avatar, along with the black and white cutscenes. So it's like, this is important. This is important to figure out what exactly happened. All those, it could be months, it could be weeks. So we got to this immediate res moment because dot hack signs starts with immediate res. We're already within the story, but they don't even tell you everything. So we're kind of going backwards, which I absolutely love. But that also
Yeah,
can be a negative. Because we're going backwards, it's very slow. So that could be a turnoff for a lot of people. For me, not so much. I like when they do it. When it's done right, though.
yeah. They have to do it competently. Uh, it definitely does kind of remind me of Noir too, because they took their sweet time explaining to you what happened to basically both the girls. So it is definitely a huge plus, I feel like, because it leaves a lot to be desired. It makes you want and want, but it reveals it slowly.
hmm Like it's peeling layers. There's layers to this. They want to take you on the story. Very character driven story, but those can be their own double edged swords as well. I even look at back the last season of Samurai Jack, which I will praise completely for being dark and mature, but remembering the roots of Samurai Jack. But even though it was only 10 episodes, this one was very much stylized even during the initial 4 season run. Even though season 1 through 4 we got a lot more action, story driven moments, some very cool visuals. This one was very slow. But I like that with signs right now with Heck. I'm reminded of a lot of good stuff. I mean, the casts are still pretty good, but you can also start to slowly see, you can almost say a weird temporary alliance is partially made. Even the princess wants to know exactly who the heck Sabaki is. Heck, she has so much power, the knights stop fighting, and she's like, I did not authorize this attack. So, ooh, that's how you know you got some power.
Yeah, she's very careful of hurting Tsubasa in a negative psychological way. Like she's really, really careful and attentive to his needs, whereas everyone else is kind of looking at him as this anomaly. Well, I mean, besides his main peers, but yeah, everyone else is kind of looking at him as this threat, as this anomaly. She's looking at him as a person, and I think that's what makes her a a character that you can kind of that can kind of grow on you because she cares about him as an individual in the same way kind of Bear and Mimuru does.
Rimuru, Silver Knight, and a few others. The guy that kind of looks like another character from GU, which I kind of won't spoil right here because I'm like, I think I got the right path of who I think one of them is. So it's like, compared to her to the others, it's almost feel weird. Sabaki's two friends, Bear and the other girl, they seem to be more a little chill or laid back until he's like, oh, then well, see you later. You can even hear her say, sorry, I wasn't answering your message yesterday. He's like, oh, no big deal. It's like, so I kind of like that. Then you see all the weird, different characters, like the blonde woman, I can't quite remember her name, along with our wonderful
Ichi.
green hair guy. Again, he looks familiar.
Ichi.
Exactly what I'm not. I don't want to say it quite yet because I think I know who it is. At least in GU.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I think my favorite character was Bear up until they introduced Krem. I kind of dig his kind of laid back kind of subtle approach.
Joker was laughing his ass off at the grunty with the
Yeah,
glasses.
I
What
knew
was
exactly what you were about
the
to
thing
say.
though?
I was like, is
He's
that him
on a
wearing shades?
stupid grunty pig thing with the
He's wearing
lance. You're
shades.
telling
First we
me
had here's the thing for Joker. First we had the flying grunty, and now this.
the flying grunting was one thing where I'm like, okay, that's one thing, and I was like, okay,
Hmm.
that's fine. But then, where is he?
He's wearing
Krim
shades.
over there, that's his name, is on the grunty. I'm like, what the hell? But here's the thing: I can like the character-driven stuff. I can like the dark, mature stuff. But you also gotta break it up every once in a while. And that
It's
was
so
the good
subtle.
timing where I'm like, this comes out of nowhere.
It's
But
so
it's the
subtle.
world. It makes
It's like
sense.
it was like
Had this
right
been in
there.
had this been in any other anime, I might go, way to kill the moment. This one didn't kill the moment. It just made it funny. Oh my But also within that moment when Krim is riding on the grunty, he probably the first one I think outside of maybe one, two, or three, especially the first episode of Signs, he kind of got through Sabaki actually a little bit. You can kind of see the hesitation a bit of him going, like certain words struck a chord a little bit, and that's kind of like the guards in Grim saw. They're like, now you attack, we got him now. So it's like, oh, I like that little detail that some words were spoken that kind of hit him completely. That's like, did this
Mhm.
happen with the mom dying? Is there something in relationship with your dad you're not telling us? So this is like, that might come back a little bit later, especially with the whole next time on episode 6, with some things being shown. I'm like, that's gonna happen later. I can tell it. Tell something shall and will happen.
but I was like, oh god, I hope this doesn't take Joker out of it, because I bring this up, that dinosaur Joker, that dinosaur, that T
You know,
Rex.
that's over a year, close to like several months now, so I'm over it.
It's
So that's
I know.
fine now.
I was like, crap. I hope this doesn't take him out of it.
oh boy.
Well,
Oh,
good to know. But it's
it
a
was
good thing that
good.
it didn't kill this. This didn't kill the scene. I'm like, oh, good. We need something comical. Yes.
What got me was how subtle it was. It was just like right there. Like, wait, is he wearing shades? Like, what the fuck?
And he had a
I'm
little.
like, oh
He
my
had
gosh.
like a little dyed fade going
But
too.
I,
I'm like,
but I think,
wow, Krim really went all out on the customization board. He really went all out. Like, I gotta give him shades. This Grunty's gonna look awesome. I was
yeah,
like,
me
I'm like,
totally thought.
I'm
Oh,
like, this game is lucky. I'm not. These people are lucky. I don't have. I'm not in that game because the customizations I do would be insane. But I like another thing I liked about the dot hack is it's set in like in a medieval setting with like
That's
wave
what I like
masters.
about Dot Hack. Really, it's not hyper fantasy. It's not. It's something that feels a little bit more grounded. Yes, you still got all these weird different animals and everything, but it's good medieval fantasy. Then you see all the cool different weaponry, which again, it's like we still got our swords, a lance, great swords, and everything. But Donak really does pretty much some cool weaponry later. Like you get some nice dual blades, some staffs, and mages. Even those who do
I
play
like
the games,
Sora's arm blades. I like those.
the arm blades for
You know
Sora are
what that
really cool.
reminds me of? You know what that
Which
reminds
again,
me
I
of? It reminds me of Carl von Ripke Cronin from Hellboy.
yep, I always like that. I thought you were
mm,
going to say the character's name that I think I know who he might become later, but I don't want to say it for Jasmine's sake here, my audience. Even though all of them might say, "Well, we already know who it is." Like that. I'm sorry, Sora just looks like
mhm.
I can see it because I played GU and I'm like he reminds me a lot of who I cannot mention right now. So it's killing me, Smalls. It's killing me. Phoenix will just say it, man. I'm like, no, I don't want to say it. Just for Jasmine's sake. Because I wanted to play GU. And then she'll be like, oh, now I know who you're talking about.
What's GU on anyway?
G GU is the sequel series to Infection. So this is like in World 2.0. You play a different protagonist, but this time around there's more of a virus going around that the
Mm,
main plot is that they need to figure out for this group of players that something's happening to the world again and players are going not just into a coma but literally they can no longer even awaken again. Again, this is way before SAO even came out. And people are figuring out, okay, but then why can't they get back in? They can't figure out why. And again, in Media Res, the actual fake company known as Cyberkinetic are saying we have no idea what's going on, but we take full responsibility. We will figure this out. What's going on here? But as you slowly get into it, the more the layers start to peel off, the more as this becomes a little bit bigger than what you initially think.
is the enemy of that any good?
Okay, so that would be called for GU is called Roots, which takes place before the first video game comes up. It starts off with GU, so it's both. I have yet to watch it. That one does take place on why the main character is with a group before he kind of disbands because he is known as the player killer. Basically, there's two types of player killers: the actual player characters because it's the world, and you're allowed to do anything. In most MMOs, RPGs or JRPGs, you cannot attack somebody in the game unless you're battling. In the world, though, you can do it whenever you feel like it. No repercussions. So you can be an asshole in the world, killing all the players and getting all their loots, selling them all off, all that crap. Wonderful. But this guy got tricked, is saved by somebody, and eventually, because of that being saved, he wants to make it his mission to kill the actual player killers. Hence, he's dubbed PKK. He's a player killer, and he is infamous for these PKers because they all really hate them for taking away their fun. Which is kind of cool, actually. You come more with a little cocky anti-hero at the moment, or like before it becomes the actual hero. So he's kind of a jerk, but it's pretty cool. As for Roots, it's kind of like before the main game, so I gotta watch it to understand it. But I think one of my friends told me that it's more like them bonding over the years, which leads up to the events of the first game starting, and where you'll be at the start of the game after the prologue introduction. Like again, dot hack is really one of those connected stuff where people are going to be connected one way or another. Like the group from science will interact with the people from infection, and in roots you will see people from affection for around, and then maybe some other people as well. Now there are characters who will reappear after a while, so it's like So this is kind of like really cool connected stuff. Before, people wanted the big, heavy cinematic universe you got with, with Marvel and DC with all their movies and shows lately. They want to do the big crossovers until they fumble. So I think Dot Hack's been doing it pretty well, though I desperately need a new game series or always get Infection ported over because I got GU. I would love to play the original game that started it all off.
Oh, absolutely. And and this is such a classic this is such a classic anime.
There's so many mysteries to this, and yet you kind of want to figure out what's going, despite the limitation, despite the very character-driven story and slow pace. This has good layers to it because I think the best part for me for Sign is not learning what's happening right now in the actual world, the game. I want to know what's happening outside because in one of the black and whites, we hear an ambulance. What do we hear within the first episode?
An
Ambulance.
ambulance.
So episode 1 and 5 are somehow connected together. So this does remind me a little bit of how Christopher Nolan directed Mementos. Actually, black and white was the current day stuff. No, color was current day. Black and white was all in the past. So you kind of kept looping back and forth between the five
That's
stages of
what
that.
threw me off a little bit with Oppenheimer when I first
Okay,
watched
so
it.
Oppenheimer is this one. Color is. Hold on, I got a tweet right here. Hold on, I got a tweet right here. So I am so glad I saved these tweets.
But Oppenheimer, I enjoyed.
Oppenheimer. I never saw that one.
I won't spoil. We won't spoil
Oh,
it for you. We won't spoil it. We'll keep it. We'll keep it. We'll keep it clean. But
I saw Barbie though.
but as Joker's looking for the tweets, I like the fact that it does show the real world, and also in Dot Hack Twilight, we see more of that. In Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, we do see bits here and there of the real world coming into like what's happening in the real world too, and how it also affects later on in that series what's happening and everything. However, here is just the start of it. It's just like the start of like what's going on, and since it's only Tsukasa, it's not like it won't be as chaotic later on but that's where I'm gonna stop though because it gets really out there, like in the later series.
Yeah.
But we're seeing like the beginning of that. Like we're seeing it like happen with one player, and it's like, whoa, what happened here? And also I like the fact that I like the Silver Knights. I like the Silver Knights as like the main antagonist. I could see
Okay,
Silver Knight. Oh, here
but
we
even
go.
the Silver Knights, they're not really like
Evil.
antagonists. They're just doing what they're helping out the administration. They're helping out the developers. Like, hey, there's an anomaly going on. You guys figure it out. So what Nolan does in Oppenheimer is kind of what, not completely, but what Dot Hack Science is doing, but it's almost the same exact same thing. In color, we have subjective. In black and white, we have objective. But in signs, we have color, they're in the world, the video game. But in black and white, they are in present day, or something that happened in the past with some very raw emotions. But if you watch Oppenheimer, takes that to the extreme. Very good filmmaking, but also point of view as well on who we're seeing their perspective from. And he kind of does that for Mementos as
So
well. But so, but if you want to watch Oppenheimer, go for it. Like that film is like, remember, it's over close to 3 hours long, but it was very
yeah, that's
good.
what I heard. Jeez, it
Like
must
I
be
never
good if
felt
you're gonna
tense
be.
in a movie before, like an actual tense. That's not a horror film or an action thriller. I think Em and I knows the exact scene I'm talking about. It's when they're like, just imagine, like, just
Hey, bullet
imagine.
sounds.
Hey, what's up? Like, just imagine you're there for the filming of this scene, and it's like, yeah, it's not the real thing. We're just doing a dummy version that's gonna keep us all safe. But just imagine, did our pyrotechnics do everything correctly? Because if not, we're all gonna. And the
That scene.
countdown starts
Yeah,
happening.
that
It's like,
scene.
and then it's like, oh god, oh god, and then suddenly Josh Peck. I'm like, Josh Peck. But just imagine actually being there, like in actual, like when they actually build the darn thing, and it's like this is just a test one. This better work. If not, we're gone in this moment. And I remember like getting really tense. Like, are they really gonna do it now? Like really? And then, and then
When you
it was so cool to see. I was like,
it without going into spoiler territory,
that
seeing
scene made me tense. I go, wow, at the end. I was like, wow.
that when they're building it too. Again, I'm avoiding
Like how it
spoilers here,
starts
so I'm Dan.
small, but then without spoilers, it's like,
And
wow,
then when
this
you
is
see it complete, it boggles your mind. Like how?
wow.
Mm. And then all of a sudden you feel this like you don't see it, but you feel the stress behind it.
I mean, after all, he was the American Prometheus. He was the miracle maker. But that should be a subject for another day. Because if we do a watch party with Oppenheimer, oh my God, we would be here all night.
Yes, we would
Does
be
that
here
hold
all
you?
night.
I mean,
Does
we
that
could
hold
do
your
it, but we'd
attention
be
for
here all
three
night.
whole hours?
We'll
Does
probably
that hold
do it
your
like in
attention?
chunks, like maybe like 45 minutes per night.
If I could find the time to do that, I would. Don't get me
I
wrong. If I could find
mean,
the
when we're
time,
talking
but
about discussions of animes is one thing, but
but
back to
we would
Sonic
be
again. It was short
but
two
we would be here
episodes,
about that.
but these were good episodes. You get more of the world, of the games are playing, how the factions are holding off. Even those who are solo, they're starting to figure out what the hell is going on, and no wonder why they take him captive in the end of the last episode. And this is the actual
Exactly.
first time The Guardian didn't really attack anybody after he was captured. It's almost as if he wanted to be captured in some sense of way. But also, who's up with that
Uh,
mysterious voice in episode 4? That is going to be the big thing going further.
Exactly. And it's so crazy how things come together. Those women, those 4 women, I forgot it was 4 women that attacked him as well at the desert location. I completely forgot
they
about
probably was
that.
met with quite the misfortune attacking his guardian,
Oh yeah, he
because
couldn't
I think the
control it.
guardian,
Yeah, the guard once the guardian
yeah,
got let
and
loose, it was like, hi. Those ladies
yeah,
got taken to the woodshed.
and I think that's ultimately why maybe he didn't attack the Crimson Knights, because I think he's kind of conflicted himself about using the guardian, because he kind of lost control of it. And I think he wants to think of this as kind of like his paradise or his protector, but I mean, if your protector gets out of hand, he actually hurts people for real. I mean, like they said, this guardian is technically um, putting people in their own sort of with their giving them memory problems. They can't remember things, and it's like that's seriously hurting people, having outside effects on people besides just
You can
playing
even
a
hear the
game.
restraint within his voice when those 4 women attack. He's like, all right, go right ahead. But then he's like, all right, that's enough. Keeps on going, keeps on hurting. And no wonder why he kind of lets go at the end of 5 at least. It ties back together, and Jasmine's right. He's more hesitant this time around. But the Silver Knights, he kind of doesn't care because he's very cocky by saying, "You're just gonna die again." I'm like, I love it when characters are cocky like that.
Exactly. This would for 2 episodes, we actually got a lot more, and I'm glad about that because it's like everything's going on. Plus, I forget how powerful the message boards are sometimes. I completely forget
I
because
think that's one of the features I did not use a whole lot in GU for the message boards, but you could literally put anything on there and people will look at it and be like, all right, cool. It could be something
yeah,
fun.
because
Interesting.
message boards were so well, they're well, now that we have Twitter and everything, but back in those early days, we only had, like, message boards and everything, like, "Hey, pay
Even me
attention."
trying to find some information about this stuff, holy crap. I was trying to find stuff like, so who's dancing the intro, or like what people were discussing about. It was a cool time to be in when the internet was starting off. And again, we kept saying this is going to be the future. Again, look at MySpace back in the day when some people were on that before Facebook became the more dominant one. And then it's like Facebook kind of is heck. I don't think hell it wasn't even that. If you go back 10 years ago, I still remember watching ET. We do every night with the family. They kept saying that stuff. Facebook has this million of users. Instagram has this many users. And they were bringing up Twitter has X amount of millions of users. And it's like, this was growing back in the day. This was growing.
Exactly.
And they never brought up message or anything. Or they might say, oh, it's posted this on Facebook or MySpace or yada, yada, yada. But then it became more dope. We're just going to focus on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and that's it. Or when they were talking about YouTube, it was either somebody more famous that ET was talking to or some viral clips here and there. That's about it. Unless you were like someone like people like Justin Bieber back in the day. So think about that. Even
Yeah,
though
I
he
would.
really wasn't a YouTuber, he did have a very small channel back in the day, but he blew up in a few ways than we all like to agree with. But is that
Yeah, I could imagine how things would be if it was like happening something like this would happen was happening today, I mean, they're all flipping out because of just what's going on through the message boards. But just imagine like the kind of impact it would have if people could actually see this stuff, if they could like um like stream it in real time, stuff like that. The
The
real
weird thing
world
is you
implications.
do get that in some current anime where some things are doing stuff like that, but not like to the degree that you can see like an actual like IRL streamers, like what the infamous message that Doctor Disrespect got on the very infamous stream that it's like did he knew he was getting fired on the spot? Probably both a yes and a no, mostly the yes, or people kind of crashing out and flipping out, or the you can catch him in the lie in the act of the completionist charity live streams
Mhm.
of all that stuff or stuff that's happening, within time because you get weird messages on chat or people don't want to see, and then it's like get out of here, or they forget they're streaming, and yet their IRL public issues, private issues, become ironically available to the public to see. We have seen that
Mhm.
happen far, far too often,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird nowadays. And still very slightly taboo to talk about because sometimes it's like just turn off the damn cameras, turn off the
Mhm.
stream, because none of us need to see that right now.
Yeah, and they don't need to see the feedback from that, which is why if something like this were to happen, I mean, just imagine the ramifications of just somebody doing this in a game, just it being exposed to other people, more irresponsible people. Like, I mean, like for example, Sukasa is already like enduring enough just from his end of things, but if he had the outside world poking in into what he's dealing with, it could lead to some bad stuff. I mean, and just recently kind of had something like that within the wrestling world. I mean, if you know, you know, but it's just the kind of influence the real world can have on in entertainment and what entertainment could have on the real world. It's a very dangerous headspace to be in, or so rather, social media.
Mhm. And and the cool thing is this these
Oh, he froze. I think one of the cool things about watching an anime like this is exactly what we've talked about, going from message boards to nowadays like actual using the power of the internet, social media, go from playing a game to like here, let me tweet this out and a few other things. So it's weird that dot hack signs out of everything that was happening within the early 2000s to mid 2000s predicted a lot of stuff that we are still seeing today, just now elsewhere. This is more impactful than what people say the Persona 3 had with the whole, getting all the phones and tablets and whatnot. Even some quick lines there of like, you kids and your damn phones always on them. And like Persona 4, then you like jump to Persona 5 and it's all just smartphones and everything, even though they don't quite show what the year it is because they want to be cheeky with the year with that year 20XX, even though you can kind of tell what it's like if you kind of find the right calendars and whatnot, or see that weird jump from Card Capture Sakura where they go from flip phones and whatnot to one of the season they started to use smartphones, and it was like that was so awkward. Like, shouldn't you guys have at least a just like a normal phone instead they have like the latest stuff? It's like this looks so wrong, in my opinion. But the weird thing is, like throughout anime, like there's just some shows we saw like technology slowly evolve in that. And it's weird to see these things connect in certain ways. Even a war, even though they were like in the near future or like distant future, they still were using like old technology. Because at the time you think, oh yeah, we're still have like all these old technologies. Like no, nowadays not so much because of because Noir over there we're using a smartphone to be calling people instead of a cellular phone instead of a normal cell phone.
Absolutely. And it's plus I like the fact that dot hack still holds up after all these years. This anime is about
We lost them again, folks.
Yeah, well, what I love about it, especially, and I already said this kind of last time, but I just love the real world implications on just the game situation or its entertainment. It's not like it's just, well, we're gonna get with the ways of this world, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't know what it is, but that's kind of like my pet peeve when it comes to isekai. It's just like, I mean, you're in another world. Act like you know this matters, but they're just like, oh no, I can't wait to get away from my home and what I knew. That sucked. And I mean, yeah, it might have sucked, but at the same time, it's not like it doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
Out. They're escaping their own reality in this darn game, which is what we do every single Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday night on this channel. Or if you're watching Anime Night, he'll do it almost every other day just to play some darn games. The world is meant for them to escape to escape this harsh reality that we see in black and white that may not be always so colorful. And the strangest thing is, these people we see, they are in their teens to early adulthood, so they know much more than, let's say, a younger child might be playing game. You might be like, "This is fun," until it's literally, nope. Here's the harsh reality of it.
Yeah, exactly.
and I agree. We all need an escape from our daily lives, which is and Joker is correct, which is why we do Nights at the Anime Table, why we do Nightcasts, why I do the game streams, why he does his stuff. And of course art and everything is also a nice escape as well. And Joker and I we spoke about it last night before we went live for Nightcast. Like we're like, look, let's just talk about the upcoming stuff, like the cool stuff that's coming, just to get everybody, just to raise everybody's spirits up a little bit. And we weren't the only ones because I looked over on Twitter and every big channel was talking about what happened yesterday.
And I would like
Every
to point
big
out on the record, Aspen's Gold video is out. It's out. He said he would do it. It's out. So it's a big one. So now I gotta look at every company differently now.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's the sad
it's
thing is there's some games I still might get. Two ones I might say, nope, I'm done.
Yep. I already have my game set up to where I'm gonna buy them. Tomorrow night I'm gonna be uh pre-ordering Sonic Racing Crossworlds.
There we go. That'll be a fun one.
And then of course I'm getting Terminator 2 2D the arcade one that's coming up pretty soon in October. That one looks a lot of fun. I cannot wait to play that. And then we got I might do this. I might buy the Bubsy collection. I might. I might. If the interest is there, I might. But we'll see. I'm still warring with myself if I want to buy Gex, the Gex trilogy, and just play 2 and 3.
Wait,
Um,
the original Gex?
yeah,
Oh,
they came out with the trilogy of
also
all 3 games.
remaster.
Yep, and I'm also gonna be playing more of Shinobi, Art of War. That one was a lot of fun.
How is
And
that one? How's that one?
it's gorgeous.
Maybe we'll finally get a new Shinobi game after that one.
You're
Proper
gonna
3D
love
one.
it, Joker. I'm gonna safely tell you it's challenging, but it's not unfair. You have to think of like, okay, how am I gonna tackle this thing, or how can I take one person out while focus on the other? It makes you think of your next move, but it's a lot of fun. And the controls are very simple and straightforward. It's not like, oh, I gotta do a whole mess of things to do this, that, and the other. It just tells you like, okay, does this, or and it walks you through it. It has a nice tutorial, straight to the point. Nothing too convoluted. However, I will say this: we are getting. I think it's next year. I looked further down. We're getting a Sega Nemesis DLC. And guess who's going to be in it, Joker? Dr.
Uh
Robotnik.
oh,
And I'm like,
sweet.
yes. I'm excited for that. It's the villains from the Sega Genesis and everything. From Sega as a whole, but I'm excited to see who's going to be on that roster. But it's well worth the money, though, Joker. It is well worth the money so far. I am going to be playing that Saturday night. I'm going to be playing that Saturday night. Because I'm investing my money elsewhere. I'm investing elsewhere. I was excited for Ghost of Yoite, but due to certain things happening, I can no longer do it. I can't bring myself. I'll just stick with Ghost of Tsushima. I'll just stick with that.
Hmm, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yep. But also, let's just say I went off on a lot of people. One of them actually had the nerve, actually blocked me rather than rebuttal anything I said. He blocks me, and I'm like,
Well,
prove my point correct. Then prove it
you
correct again.
just you just admitted defeat.
Oh, trust me, I gave zero. Good thing I got it out of my system before we went live for Nightcast because I was so fucking angry. I think that was probably the most angriest I've been in a very long time with my words. And normally that does not happen. That does not happen very often because you guys have known me for years. I'm this chill, awesome looking dude, but I do have a temper and a lot of words here and there. But aside from that, I am excited for. I'm also excited for Downtown Abbey. I'm actually excited for you, Joker. I'm actually excited. I hope the movie. I hope the ending is worth it. I hope the ending ends on a very great note that satisfies everybody. I have yet to see the Demon Slayer one.
I think I might see Demon Slayer one first because it's actually for once it's in my town to see. So I'm like, I did the whole Spanish gasping. I was like,
um,
Is that
I
out
will.
so
already?
the moment I
Oh,
go, I'm gonna like take photos, be like, if you're an anime fan, come down here.
we
We
need
got it.
this.
If you
We
don't
need
want to
this.
drive an hour away, we
Oh,
have
right. It's
in a
like
whole
so it
month.
comes out tomorrow, right?
I know it came out today.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and
Change it.
get this, Joker. At my gig, I was looking at like the tickets and everything. There was only one ticket bought for Downtown Abbey.
Ooh,
Mm,
What this was early. This was early into
that's
my
early
well, it was early, but as the day went on, the number increased. So I'm like, Yay! Because I was thinking about Joker. I'm like, if Joker saw these numbers, he would have a heart attack. Be like, what is wrong with you people? No, knowing you, Joker, knowing you.
I would have been freaking out.
Um, but despite what's happened and everything, we do what we can over here. And tonight is no different because we're having fun talking about doing the watch party, talking about the episodes and having a great time. And believe me, it's really needed. Tonight was really needed. Um, I cannot wait for episodes. But before I continue, Joker, Jasmine, do you guys like this format better? Like just the 2 episodes or the 3? I need to
Uh,
know.
2 was only because I was a little bit tired from work. I was like, I just need to not try to fall asleep. But typically the 3 I can handle unless I'm like slowly nodding off, and then like I'll be like, I'll keep one eye closed and I'll keep the other one better. So like I'll be switching off before, or I'll just grab like a soda. That'll help out for a while. Just really depends.
Um,
I really like three. I think three is a sweet spot, but we can do two whenever, people are not up for it. I mean, it's understandable. So you went to the movies. Did you go see Demon Slayer?
no, the
Oh,
the gay
I
got
was
the
talking. I was
oh,
talking Joker.
oh I think
Jo-
he. Oh.
Jo-
But
Joker. You hear me?
I can hear.
Uh, so did you go see Demon Slayer?
I'm seeing that tomorrow. I'm trying to find my Shinobu plushie that I got.
um, I had my Demon Slayer cup that I have from Comic Con. I don't think I should. I can't recall for the life of me if I showed it or not. I can't recall for the life of me if I did. When I came back from the conventions, I'm getting another one. I'm gonna get me another one of those because I would like to have 2 of them. That way I could take one the next day while the other one's being washed in the dishwash I mean, being hand washed and everything. Also, I'm going through with this. I am going through getting the getting the gaming chair. I am going through with it because
Sweet.
I hate the current chair I have. I hate the current chair I have right now because it is uncomfy at the moment. So I'm gonna go through with it and buy it tomorrow. I get paid, and then tomorrow night, and then also tomorrow I'm gonna be pre-ordering as well. So I'm gonna be spending a lot of money. But hey, it's me it's my own money anyway, so I'm happy. I'm doing it by myself. Um, and yes, I'm gonna ask a friend of mine if he's available, if he could come over and help me build it properly because this is a big one and I want to make sure I do this correctly. I don't want to sit down on stream and fall on my ass and break everything. That would make for hilarious shorts and everything, don't get me wrong, but at the cost of like you okay there, Anime Night? You okay there? Raise your hand if you need help.
All right, but that's gonna do with. But that's gonna end for
Yes.
right now. Phoenix is still preparing for his convention, so Phoenix, stay safe out there, brother. Good luck for the convention. Hopefully, you sell some more books and get some more readers to get into Screecher. Have a
Oh,
fun time.
did you see the message I sent you regarding the uh there's a comic person, Ben Bishop. He's coming here to the convention. He's the co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin.
You're gonna have to send that because I don't have a message.
Oh, hold on, let me there we go. Ben Bishop. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go meet him and everything. I'm making it a note to go visit the comic creators and everything. I did it with the Batman the Animated Series. That was a lot of fun. Got to spend 10 minutes each with them. I want to continue to do that. And no, I respectfully did not do it for content. I don't do that because I respect the boundary here and everything. Unless if they were comfortable enough with it, but you know how it is at the conventions, Joker. Everybody's walking, and I doubt we would find a place to make it work.
I mean, I get that lucky. I mean, I got lucky one time. That one time I get lucky. That was with the Fire Force actors. So that was pretty awesome.
But anyway, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Check out everybody's channels. Thank you to Bullet Sounds, Callie, and Sailor Outlaw George. And thank you, Joker and Jasmine, for coming on by. Um, we're gonna get out of here.